Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the threeohtake, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Ooh, welcome back to the threeohtake, presented by SeatGeek. This is episode 483. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin. I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. And Nate, Stop. I knew this was coming, but I'm still
we back.
Oh my God. One game.
With a whole lot of scoring going on, sir.
Hopefully
we are back.
Hopefully you didn't use it all up in one night.
We are very back. We are back. It feels good. I feel really, really good. I was down low, down in the dumpsters.
You've been in the dumps for the last
Just no air.
4 nights.
Just surrounded by trash. Buried in stank. And just a little opening. Get some fresh air.
All right. Cut the bit. Because you and I both know that you don't even believe in this confidence that you have right now. I respect trying to salvage what little enjoyment that you're going to get out of this World Series. But bit aside, what do you think? Where do you think this series is headed? I mean, we obviously got to talk about the game as a whole, but big picture, zoom out. They avoid elimination in Game 4. How do you foresee this series playing out? And spare me the shadow boxing, hip hop, vibe and risen, whatever this is.
We're going back to LA. That's all that matters.
Okay.
We're going back to LA. Got our Cy Young winner back on the mound tomorrow. Ain't no way Flaherty's gonna run it back twice in the same series. We're going back to LA. That's all that's needed to be said. Big game,
Huge,
Big game.
Huge game.
Some would say a must win. Some would say that.
I was absolutely waiting for Smoltz to drop that at some point tonight. I even tweeted it out. I was like, somebody let me know if you hear Smoltz say that this is a must-win game for the Yankees tonight, because that'd be something he would say. But yeah, no, like, bias aside, I mean, well, in terms of the game quality, like, whatever, pretty garbage. But in terms of the series itself, huge, like massive. Avoid elimination and do it in convincing fashion. Like this wasn't by the skin of their teeth. They handled the Dodgers tonight. Like,
yeah.
And being able to put up as many runs as they did helped them out in more ways than one. And we'll obviously get into that. But man, Yankees needed this. And the folks in the comments are hoping that your pizza oven worked tonight. I mean,
just kidding. We went with mac and cheese and dino nuggets tonight. So,
well, you're gonna have to run it back.
Clearly winning right now.
Are you the type of person that's gonna run it back with mac and cheese and dino nuggets tomorrow night?
Don't tempt me. I will.
You might have to.
Those things hit.
Well, I mean, if the Yankees if you do that and the Yankees are able to repeat tomorrow night what they did tonight, Yankees will be looking pretty. But talking about this offense, though, 11 runs scored tonight on behalf of the Bronx Bombers, which, by the way, was 4 more than they scored in the first 3 runs of this series combined. They also had more extra base hits tonight than they had the previous 3 games combined. And I also saw a note just before we hopped on from Justin Havens, the Nug chef, that the Yankees are the first, believe it or not, the first American League team to steal 5 bases in a World Series game.
Really? That's kind of surprising, actually.
So they were doing it on all fronts. They were able to, Heel was able to keep them close or keep things, in the ballpark for the most part, and then the pen was able to hold it down the rest of the way. But I mean, your thoughts? I mean, this seemed to be a pretty well-rounded effort.
It was. I thought Heel looked pretty good. I think like for sure emotions and just adrenaline pumping probably got him a little wild in the first, a little bit in the second too, actually. He was just a little erratic, and like sometimes erratic when you throw 97, 98 can be a good thing. Because you never know when he hits the zone, and sometimes you're just kind of sitting there awkwardly as a hitter. You're like, I wasn't expecting that to not hit the backstop. Next thing you know, you're striking out, So sometimes it works. Not going to say he was lights out by any means, but I guess like...
Can I just add something? I think the fact that he was able to do enough to warrant a standing O walking off the mound, given the state of the team, given the state of the series, the fact that in order to get a standing O out of this crowd tonight, with the way these last two games have gone, or last three games have gone, essentially, you have to do something a little more than ordinary. And again, he wasn't lights out, but the fact that he was able to, like I said, keep it within the ballpark, and give them a shot to do what they did tonight was huge.
Yeah, looked pretty good. Defense looked pretty good for the most part. The bullpen has been really solid. I think the bullpen has been like, it's obvious that the starting pitching has been what's letting the Yankees down, on top of absolutely zero, momentum offensively. But the bullpen has been very, very good, and given them a shot. The fact that they've had a shot in the first three games just tells you a lot of what the bullpen's done, and they continued it on tonight as well. I'm going to be honest, man. I was down. I was still at the bottom of the dumpster when Freddie hit that. I did call it last night. I did say that he would get the record.
Excellent job.
So, we'll just check that box. No big deal.
Hey,
crazy,
you and I,
dude.
You and I both. Correct predictions. Boone, like clockwork, chalking up Judge into the 3-hole, despite being absolute poop the entire postseason.
Nailed it.
Look at
us.
Quite honestly, your prediction was far more impressive. Because
we know ball or we know ball.
Mine. If this series went 19 games, you can assume that Boone's penciling in Judge in the 3-hole.
I don't think Freddie's ankle hurts at all. I think it's completely fine. The man is a robot. He busted it down the line on that double play that would have gotten out of the inning without a run scoring, and beats it down. Like, he just, I don't know. I don't know how hurt that ankle be, Like,
you would think that these trainers are making love to this ankle the way they talk about it on the broadcast.
Yeah,
they're like,
Joe Davis was really getting into this.
Yeah, man. They're like, these trainers are on top
for
of Freddie,
hours.
grinding it. Literally, he was like grinding it out. Yeah. I'm like, Joe, this is a family program now. Come on, let's dial it in,
man. Yeah,
I don't.
Dude's a freak.
Yeah, I think Joe Davis. Yeah, I know you're talking Freddie being a freak, but Joe Davis might be a little freak too.
Also
a freak in a different way. The Freddie thing, though, you want to talk about obvious predictions in terms of Boone penciling in Judge in game like 37 of the series.
Yeah,
I think if this series went 37 games, he's also probably going to be pitching to Freddie as well.
Yep. Just keep filling up the zone.
Seems to be status quo. Just,
it's quite wild.
Clockwork.
It's quite wild. The guy's really good.
What's the thing there? Like, why? I understand it's the first inning, but why even toy with it?
Yeah, dude. That's what I'm saying is that, like, you could tell that the rest of the game, everyone pitched to him pretty well. Like, it was, and you could tell that the home plate umpiring has been a little sketchy during the World Series, but you could tell that there were a couple that were 2-3 inches outside that were getting calls. Like, why not just stay out there? Just live there for Freddie Free. Live there. If you get the call, great. If you don't, that's fine. Take your chances with Teoscar, That's who was hitting fourth, right? Am I crazy?
Yeah. I mean, at that point, you've got Shohei's out of the way, you've got Mookie out of the way, and if you, I'm not saying specific to tonight, but I'm just saying generally speaking, with the way that Freddie's been hitting, if you have an opportunity to pitch around him, put him on, whatever. If this ankle really is bad, then you don't need to worry as much about him being any sort of making any sort of impact on the back. So I don't understand why the game plan continues to be to pitch to Freddie. Doesn't make any sense.
Smoltz has said a few things that were kind of spot on, and I think he mentioned, like, I think it was like game 2, like it's like an ego thing. Like, there's an ego with pitchers, especially starting pitchers, that were like, he ain't gonna touch my fastball. You know what I mean? Like, he's done it to everybody else, but he ain't doing it to me. And there's almost like this, I gotta get him with this. And it's just not worked. So let's just go ahead and let the man be.
What did I say? What did I say would lose the Yankees this World Series? Egos.
Lego my ego.
Lego my ego.
We can't talk about waffles right now, by the way. Crazy stuff going on. You hear about that?
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Don't eat waffles right now, bro. There's a whole lot of listeria going on in waffles.
Don't want that.
Yeah. That and quarter pounders, by the way.
Oh, yeah. E. coli's just making its rounds.
I think there's just a lot going on, Anywho.
Something in the water.
Yeah.
Something in the water. Speaking of something being in the water, can we talk about this little interaction in the what was that, in the first inning? Bottom of the first?
Which one?
What do you mean? Which one?
Look, I think
I mean, this man paid. I thought I was being generous, or I thought I was maybe overshooting it a little bit. But I tweeted out, I was like, imagine paying $5,000 to see your team in the World Series, you get ejected in the bottom of the first. Because you're ripping the ball out of Mookie Betts' glove.
I've never seen. He was trying to take the glove. Like, I've never seen this. I think there's 3 people that really took one on the chin for the Yankees tonight. Those 2 guys sitting in the front row, where his buddy's like pounding the fence and being like, he's in our area.
I mean, what is he doing? He's getting up in there.
The fact that his homie was like, get your other hand out of here, Mookie. Like,
well, that was kind of the weird thing is he takes Mookie. I have like a very mild conspiracy here. I think that his buddy in the home pinstripe jersey realized, like, in real time what was happening, because if you watch, he takes Mookie's hand and like puts it on the glove as if to say, like, no, man, this is all you. This is your ball. Like, don't get us tossed here.
Wild.
But at that point, it's too late. You're caught in 4K at that point.
I really appreciate the effort.
You're not undoing that.
They for sure just walked across the street into Billy's and caught the rest of the game there. That's an expensive night.
I mean, the bottom of the first, you don't get a full inning in, man.
His buddy that was like It's like, the glove was over here. Like, it was in our side. He caught it, bro. He caught it. He caught it cleanly. That was nuts. That was crazy.
Well, I got worried because I saw Mookie sort of like.
I saw him chirp back. Yeah, I was like,
well,
whoa.
He chirped back a little bit, but he almost had, as it's happening, he almost had this look on his face like something was getting twisted up. I'm like, it's the last thing we need is some drunk idiot messing with Mookie Betts of all people. Unbelievable.
I think he just really got everyone going. I think he got everybody fired up.
Here's the question nobody's asking.
Yeah.
Is this maybe the reverse Steve Bartman?
I love that. I love that play. Why not? Why not?
Why not the Yanks, huh? Why not the Yanks?
Why not us?
Okay, so I'm curious. Was there something else that I missed in the bottom of the first? Because when I said how do we feel about this interaction, you said which one? Was there something that I was missing elsewhere?
No, you didn't say bottom first. You just said, "Can we talk about this interaction?" And I was like, "Which one?" Yeah, that was nuts, dude. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before.
I have never seen it.
I've never seen
we're talking the glove
a true like tug of war. Yeah,
yeah, that was
weird. That's weirdo stuff. That's weirdo stuff. We don't claim all Yankee fans. You know what I mean? There's some goons out there.
No,
but look,
stop. He's there. He's in a jersey. He's at the game. He's a Yankees fan. If that's what it
took, let that man start a GoFundMe. If we do end up pulling this thing off, start a GoFundMe. Big thanks to whatever that guy's name is.
If this
that
thing
guy's
goes,
name's Sal for sure. His name's like Sal. You know.
If this thing goes 7, you guarantee the Yankees are getting him in the dugout for Game 7.
Yeah,
that would happen. Something like that would happen.
Sal from Jersey, that's for sure.
What an expense!
That's a New Jersey type activity
cow.
right there. Anyway.
And then I like his buddy afterwards. He's talking to. I guess he was talking to the up. He's like making this gesture.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. He's like, it's on our side. Like, this is the fence. It was over here.
I tweeted the video of it, and I was like, "I'm walking here."
So good.
I think you're on something. I think that was just Sal, and what do we think his buddy's name was?
Tony, for sure. Sal and Tony.
Just
Tony. Out here.
He's looking down at Mookie. We're walking here.
This is huge. This is what the crowd needed.
No, for real though. I think even as something as silly as that, it invigorated the crowd a little bit because, like you said, the Freeman home run. I saw that and I go, no, this is it.
I know.
Pack it up, turn off the lights. The party is over. But credit to Yanks for making it competitive. Like I said, that's all we wanted was a competitive game, and there for a while, 1-2 run game. And then obviously, as the game progresses, it gets out of hand, and the Yankees are able to deal with a little more flexibility with the pen and all that. But there for a good bit, it was a close, competitive game.
Yeah. Look, I mean, let's just talk Volpe for a sec, man. Let's just dive on in. Let's just dive on into the man. Yeah. That was a really bad base running mistake, and I just haven't really seen that out of him yet. Like since he's been up, he doesn't make those kind of mistakes, and I think people mistake that like on the bases they think he's really fast. He's not actually that fast. He's pretty league average as far as speed goes.
He doesn't seem blazing by any stretch.
He has like a very quick first step. Very good, solid base runner. That was just a weird brain fart. If you're not understanding what we're talking about, he is on second with one out. And Austin Wells ropes a ball off of the center field wall, pretty much right over the head of Kike. And it was a weird go halfway. Oh, I think Kike has it.
Hold on. Let's pause. Let's go into the mind of Anthony Volpe on this play. What happened?
I don't know if I know. I think there was an assumption that Kike had a beat on it. And he started working his way back towards second too soon. No outs, I like that. With one out, I don't think it's that much of an advantage to tag up and get to third. So it's not worth hanging around second base. So ideally, like, you'd like to see him almost get to third, like 2/3 of the way there, because you still have plenty of time to get it, get back to second. And it would have taken a miraculous play out of Kike to make that catch. So you saw him kind of get halfway and then start working his way back. And I don't know if he lost it at a certain point, because he still didn't get a very good jump. He pretty much went all the way back to second base and busted it to third real fast. And thank the Lord that freaking Rojas finally was just like, let's just stop somebody right here for a sec. Yeah, it's a weird brain fart moment that you don't see from a very good base runner. And that's been the story so far of this series. Like, it's been, you can think of like the other play, that Freddie beating out the double play to let a run score to make it a 1-run game. That Gleyber flip, that was just a little high, a little wide, and it had Volpe reaching, not able to get everything into that throw. Those have been like the moments so far in this series that have been just blown up and become so big and game-changing type moments because of the offense not being able to make up for it. So the fact that Volpe gets to come up the next inning and get redemption and get that I think it was the first pitch grand slam, huge, because it gives the opportunity to wash some of that stuff away. And right now, we're not talking about those moments being crazy. We're not talking about those moments are the reason why they lost. Did they play perfectly clean? No. But like, when the offense shows up and does what they did tonight, those aren't really memorable moments for the Yankees, thankfully. Good news is Wells tagged 2 balls tonight. That
I was literally just about to say, talking about 2 guys that haven't had like premier series to this point, certainly had an impact on tonight's game, which I think is huge for them moving forward. If they hope to stretch this out another game or 2 or even 3, but we talked about it. It has to, and it goes without saying, of course, but if the Yankees have any hope of doing anything, you have to have something more in that lineup in terms of production outside of Stanton and Soto.
Yep.
And even Judge, who we'll touch on just in a little bit, he was able to, make an impact, however small of an impact it was tonight. He was able to be on base and to be in the mix of this offensive outpouring that they had. But
yeah,
I mean, in terms of using this as a jumping off point for games 5 and potentially beyond, this is exactly what they needed.
Yeah,
you get sort of everybody involved. You get some arms out there, like we talked about, out of the pen to come out and do what they needed to do. And then really up and down the lineup, you had guys, like I said, impacting it in one way or another, whether it be working a pitch count, getting on base, swiping a bag, whatever it was. That's what I was saying earlier. Pretty well-rounded game for the Yankees tonight. So
yeah, very complete. I think you kind of just sit and wonder if there was maybe just a youthful like shell shock stuck in concrete type vibe going on in Volpe's head. You talk about last night, like, the first game in Yankee Stadium for the World Series, and Derek Jeter's throwing out the first pitch and like, I'm playing shorts. I wonder how much of that is like surreal. You know, they talked on the broadcast tonight about like how obviously he grew up a Yankee fan, but like, you know, his parents being diehard Yankees fans, his family, and like they'd be happy anyway if Volpe wasn't playing in this game. And so it's insane that he is. So it makes you just wonder if like tonight kind of unleashed like a, you know what, like I do belong here. Like I can hang with the rest of these guys. I may be young, I may be, you know, somewhat green, but like I can hang. And you saw like the confidence just kind of take over him on the bases after that. You saw it defensively. I mean, that, you know, going off of contact and the Verdugo at bat, great at bat, by the way. One of the best at bats I've ever seen Verdugo take. That go on contact to the, you know, one hopper to Lux at second and just a little bit throw to the wrong side and Volpe slides in. It's like, then I think you saw like a little bit of like a short hop, you know, kind of go down to the knee at short the next inning.
Mm-hmm.
Like you watch some of these, like those are confidence plays. Those are like, I'm settled in and I feel good. And so you wonder if like that can do something for a young guy, especially with all of the pressure of being, you know, the next New York kid.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about him. They showed on the broadcast. They've pretty much showed on broadcast every night. He's at the 2009 World Series parade as like a little kid, and now he's in the World Series. And I think the thing that was most impressive to me about it was, you talk about it being a confidence booster. The fact that he was able to flush that in the moment, that base running blunder was massive.
Huge.
Because we talk right off the top, talking about the lack of run production these first 3 games of the series.
Yeah.
So you finally have a chance, a very simple, easy, feasible opportunity to take advantage of a run that the Dodgers, well, I won't say gifted you, but you know, your offense is earning it. But
yeah,
it's right there. Use a Booney-ism. It's right there in front of you. And so when he gets to third and he's like mashing his thigh because he's frustrated with himself and he knows that he knows better and he probably expects better from himself. The fact that what was most impressive is the fact that he came back and on that grand slam, you could tell he was sitting on that pitch. So to be able to flush that in between when it happened to that pitch that he took yard, that's a big league move right there. That's not him dwelling on it. That's not him feeling sorry for himself. That's him going, okay. I mean, it happens in baseball, but it doesn't always happen where you have an opportunity to immediately to prove yourself, to redeem yourself. And like I said, the fact that he was sitting on it tells you that he went up to the plate with the game plan, which, like I said, it's a big league. That's a big league move for a rather young kid. So that was impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. Trying to think some other big moments. I think they talked about it on the broadcast. A lot of swing and miss from the Dodgers tonight. They're not like super used to seeing that. Lot of swing and miss. I think Clay Holmes kind of cleaned up, and he's not a strikeout guy. So that was surprising.
He went an inning and a third. He had 2 Ks.
Yeah. I think I saw a comment here live with us about Ohtani. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like he just doesn't look fully quite right. There's a few swings, fastballs up, and there was a couple hanging sliders at the top of the zone, like 88, 89 mile an hour spinners at the top of the zone that kind of backed up. But like normally you would see him destroy those, and he just doesn't quite look right.
He seems to be flying. I mean, I'm not trying to sit here and like dissect Ohtani swings, but I think because of this injury, he, like you say, he's not quite feeling right. And you see him and they talked about it tonight too, how he's just trying to launch baseballs. He seems like he's flying open a little bit. And I think that's because he's thinking about his shoulders, maybe his front side, his back side, and just being able to get to a ball as quickly and as violently as he's used to being able to do. And because he probably feels limited physically, I think that's getting in his head a little bit. And he just doesn't look as mechanically sound, or he hasn't looked as mechanically sound since this injury. And you
that
bring
backside that's your top hand, and like that backside really controls the barrel. And if your top hand has any kind of weakness going on, you're going to struggle to stay on top of stuff. And that's why you're seeing him really struggle on the top of the zone, and then probably expanding on that stuff that's down and away. Anyway.
No, I was just going to say, you bring up Shohei, and I feel like I meant to bring it up last night, given that, like we said, and as you very well know, Dodgers were a game away from sweeping coming into tonight. So I'm glad tonight happened, so I still have the opportunity to bring it up. The thing with Shohei, because I feel like when people hear me specifically harping on Judge and saying, like, we need more out of Judge, we need more out of Judge, the Yankees need more out of Judge. I say we, not me. The Yankees need more out of Judge. They go, okay, well, what about, don't even give me that look. They say that, they say, okay, well, what about Shohei? What has Shohei done this World Series? The answer is nothing.
Yeah.
The difference is the Dodgers,
the rest of the lineup is delivering,
coming into the night 3-0. That's the difference. It's as simple as that. It's not about picking on Judge. It's not about saying, okay, well, you're on a different level of expectation than Shohei. That's not it. You're both MVP players. However, one of you, meaning Shohei, is surrounded by, like you said, other guys in that lineup that are producing, and it sort of alleviates any sort of missing production that that exists there with Shohei. That's the difference. Judge, it wasn't as glaring tonight. Yeah, he had a couple. He got on base a couple times there, but still wasn't the Judge that we saw throughout the regular season. But my point is that it wasn't as glaring because you had guys around him producing. You put up the Yankees put up 11 runs.
Yeah.
So if you continue to do that and Judge continues to struggle, maybe you can get by. Maybe you can stretch it out a couple more games. But if those guys aren't doing that, the burden's going to fall on Judge as the captain and the leader of that team and the best offensive player on that team. It's, well, I mean, so Juan Soto, whatever, toss up, but it's
probably when it's all said and done. Yeah. But no, I mean, ABs did look better tonight. I think there were multiple 2-strike counts that he worked a walk in. Got me super nervous. That fastball up and in that caught the hand, some finger of the left hand, and I think the palm of the right hand, which got me a little worried. But you saw him being able to lay off of that slider and that cutter that's down and out, that's just off. And that's the one that he's been pulling off of and not reaching. And you can see that, like, once he starts spotting that a little bit and he gets a better idea of what's a ball and what's a strike, because I think that's where he's really, really struggling, is that borderline pitch that's away or down and out that he feels like isn't a strike and it ends up clipping the zone. Like, I think those are the ones where he's really struggling with. That's what he struggled with early in his career. And then he gets, beat with stuff in or up. And as these ABs have progressed tonight, he did hit that, that RBI single when the game was kind of out of hand at that point, but he had that RBI single to left. I think it did look better. And they said on the broadcast, man, if he would have popped off in that AB, it would have felt like we're really bad.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But
they said this was the last box to check for what would be essentially like a rejuvenation for this team, and it didn't quite accomplish that. I wouldn't say, but I mean, I guess a step in the right direction. But
getting there.
If I hear the the commentary about Judge being like this sleeping beast one more time. It's like the World Series is going to be over. I'm convinced the World Series is going to be over.
The sleeping giant.
And we're going to talk about Aaron Judge being the sleeping giant, just knocking on the door of breaking out. It's like the season's over, dude. Like, give it up.
Yeah.
We've essentially reached the end of the year. And like I mean, well, more specifically, pretty much the end of the postseason, which he's sucked in, as has been well documented. I think it's time to give that narrative up.
Yeah,
I think it's time to give that narrative up, because even if he goes out in Game 5 and hits 3 home runs, it's like, okay, I don't know if you say they push it to Game 6, say they make it to Game 6 and the Dodgers win Game 6. That's essentially 2 games for him to break out. The sleeping giant. Two games, the entire course of the postseason. We're going to call that breaking out. Okay.
We shall see.
You're getting a little too cocky over there.
We shall see. Another guy, I mentioned it last night, that Walker Buehler, I think, has earned himself a little contract. I think Gleyber Torres has earned himself a pretty good paycheck for the last 60 days worth of baseball. And what's crazy is that D-Row has been saying this on MLB Central for like 2 years. Like, get Gleyber Torres in the leadoff spot. Just get him in the leadoff spot. He doesn't think anymore. He doesn't put the pressure on of like, it's almost like he goes back to that. I think he had 38 or something like that home runs back in 2021. And it's like, you want him to like relive that life. And you're like, bro, like, you're not that guy. Like, you don't have to be that guy.
Not that guy, pal.
I just made that number up. I don't know if it's 38.
38, 2019.
Is it 2019? Whoa. Wow,
All-Star.
that was a while ago.
We're old. Man.
I know. But that's just like,
For those keeping track at home, he finished 17th in MVP voting that year.
That's crazy. But
Gleyber Torres getting MVP votes. How about that?
But yeah, man, it's just, the way he's played. I know it does a lot having a Juan Soto hitting behind you, but the way he's played, I think he's earned himself a lot more attention. And I think that, like, if the Yankees thought that they could maybe bring him back on a team friendly, hometown discount kind of deal, I'd say based on his performance, that number is going to go up a little bit. So good for him. Defensively, though, brother, figure it out, man. Like, clean it up. Like, you've had some rough moments. And again, I mentioned that double play flip that, like, that's just a standard one of these, guy. Just a little thumb down shovel pass that cannot happen. Cannot mess up the rhythm of the shortstop coming across that way. So, anyways, what else we got? Max Muncy, brother. What's going on there? Man, guy was lights out for most of the postseason. Really, really struggled. I don't think he has. Were they saying he hasn't had a knock yet in the World Series?
He's hitting 178 this postseason. Honestly, I hadn't been. I mean, I've been admittedly a little.
Well, he
like
had that
fixated.
on base streak,
right,
going
but
for a while. But
I've admittedly been a little fixated on Judge's lack of production, because that's just it. It's just mind blowing to me. But I haven't been keeping as much up to date with Muncy. Is that what they said?
Yeah,
really, the whole series.
Yeah. Talk about a guy though that could, like, you're used to seeing that number. You're used to seeing a Max Muncy hit, under 250. But talk about a guy that could very much get it going at any point. He's like a Kyle Schwarber in a way. Like, when it comes in bunches, and like, oh, look out when it does. So the fact that they've kept him at bay, trying to think. Teoscar looked a little frustrated tonight. I mean, there's a few Dodgers that look frustrated, but like overall, I think you can use tonight as like something to work off of and something to like build off of on the approach towards the Dodgers lineup and the way you can attack them.
Yeah, I mean, I to your point, I think they frustrated the Dodgers lineup a little bit tonight, but I don't think it's anything that's going to necessarily keep this. I don't think the Dodgers are going into the clubhouse tonight, going back to their hotel, being like, guys, but how do we come back from this? Like they just, I mean, you put up 4 runs. It's not going to necessarily win you a ball game, and it certainly didn't tonight. But with the way that they really, you zoom out, look beyond
it's
just
also
this World
crazy
Series.
to have this conversation right now. By the way, the fact that they've averaged 6 runs a game,
right,
and they put up 4, and we're like, they really kind of held them at bay.
That's
like,
that's exactly what I'm saying. You zoom out, you look at the length of the postseason, and just with the way they've been churning out runs in their sleep. I'm not worried about this whatsoever. I hope for the sake of the series and for entertainment value that both teams, like the Yankees, can maybe build off this. The Dodgers can come out, maybe bounce back, punch back a little bit in Game 5, but. In terms of the Dodgers lineup specifically, I have zero concerns. It would be nice if Shohei would tap in a little bit, but if we're at a point now where you just kind of have to maybe chalk that up.
It makes me sad.
Yeah, I mean,
it makes me sad.
And yeah, I mean, it's certainly not. You don't like to. You don't love to see it necessarily, but the reality of it is that if you're going to chalk it up as an L, I'm not saying you're expecting nothing out of him, but if you want to play it safe and say that you're counting on nothing, then you can maybe adjust accordingly and lean into some of these other guys bounce back. Teoscar being a name, for example, of like, okay, you've had some moments this series,
and knows Garrett Cole well.
Let's build on that. Let's take it up a notch, and then you kind of account for that lack of production out of Shohei.
There is one guy that I don't think is going to recover, and that's that Brent Honeywell guy. That poor guy really took one on the chin for the Dodgers tonight, man. They just let him drown out there.
Well, you heard
screaming into his glove. I'm like, fam, it's done. This game's all done. And he's losing it.
When they interviewed Dave Roberts, it was early. It was probably, well, I guess it would have been after the Volpe Grand Slam. So we're talking like probably 4th inning. I guess they interviewed him, and
it was probably like a 5-2 at that point.
Yeah, and they're asking him about his approach for the rest of the game. And he's like, "Yeah, we're just gonna, we're just gonna try to chew up some innings." I'm like, this dude's already punting. It's exactly what I said last night.
They did that against the Mets. They punted.
Set yourself. Like
Mets put up 10, I think.
Yeah, take the L. I mean, I'm not like faulting the guy. Like the strategy has worked clearly for them. You just take the L. You reset. You collect yourself. Your staff, your rotation, your pen. You get everybody right for Game 5. I understand that, but the fact that he went on TV and was like, we're just trying to chew up some innings. Like homie came into the game. Forget the Volpe Grand Slam. Dave Roberts came into this game prepared to fully punt.
That's true.
He was just hoping that he could maybe catch lightning in a bottle again with another bullpen game.
You're not wrong.
Didn't happen.
You're not wrong.
I mean, just wild to just.
And
be
Landon
so
Knack really gave them that chance too. Like he did pretty well. I think, all things considered, Landon Knack chewed up exactly what he was supposed to do. But the Game 5 to me is, for obvious reasons, like it's the most important game for the Yankees. But I think it's one that, like, if the Yankees have any shot whatsoever, this is the way it has to happen. You get another attempt at Game 1. You get an attempt at a Flaherty and a full throttle bullpen with an off day coming on Thursday.
Yeah,
on Friday. What day is it? Thursday, off day Thursday.
Today's Tuesday. Yeah, off day Thursday. Something that I think was you talk about that the pen being in okay shape. Something I think that was actually pretty significant that happened that probably isn't going to get talked about in the main storylines is the fact that the Yankees were able to put up enough runs late to where Luke Weaver did not have to come back out for the night. Like that was massive.
Huge.
That was massive.
Yep.
Because it's not just the fact that he would have to come out for another inning and add to his body of work. The fact
he's out tomorrow. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you're now asking a guy to come out. He's going to be on the mound for what, the third consecutive inning?
Yeah.
Because he went an inning. I think he logged an inning and a third on the night. It
would have been 2 1/3 if he came back out.
Right. So he would have been on the mound for 3 consecutive over the span of 3 innings.
Yeah.
And they talked about it tonight. I think they said that would have been the longest save in World Series history.
Yeah, and in Yankee World Series
or
history,
Yankee World Series. Oh yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, as a Yankee.
But I think, and they did mention it tonight. Like what people need to remember is that like he's not this journeyman closer. Like he hasn't been in this role his entire career. And I think that plays a big role in this. Like it plays a big part in the fact that he was a starter. He understands the up and down. Even then, he was kind of a long man, middle relief. And he's just found his way into this role. And I think that's what makes it like I've been upset with how often Boone has gone to him for 4 or 5 out saves. But we just got to remember that like he's not the ordinary closer. He's not the typical guy that may be scared of doing that or doesn't have experience doing that. He's done that throughout his career. So he's awesome, man. He's lanky and like skinny and just come right at you. Like it's
a quirky
pretty
dude.
Sweet. Yeah.
He's a quirky dude.
Yeah.
All right, looking ahead to Game 5. How do you sort of touched on already. How do we feel about a Jack Flaherty, Garrett Cole matchup? You're
not getting 2 pitchers duels between the same matchup in the same series. Like I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
It's October. Anything can happen. Anything can happen.
Cole needs to be the best he's been all year. This is a must-win thing. And I was saying last night, I was like, I kind of wish that Heel would have piggybacked off of Schmidt in Game 3, and then you run Cole back out for Game 4 on 3 days rest. But the truth is, like, if the Yankees are going to pull this off, someone else in the rotation needed to do well enough for them to get the dub. Tonight, Heel did well enough. There's more so an offensive explosion, but like he did well enough. If you can follow that up with a dominant Cole outing and you're going back to LA, like that's got to feel the best it's felt. So that's my prediction. That's what I'm going with. I think Cole goes crazy. I think they get to Flaherty. But I think it's one of those games that it's going to tighten up towards the end. It's going to be, what bullpen piece doesn't have it tonight. That's the story tomorrow. It's going to come down to the pens.
I hope and pray that they get this dub. They, meaning the Yankees, just again, to reiterate, for the entertainment, because the Yankees were this close to making us look like idiots for hyping this World Series up. This close. They have a chance to save it. At least get it back to LA.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's bare minimum. Just get it back to LA. It's all you got to do. Forget winning the thing. Forget even whatever. Just get it back to LA. That's it.
One game at a time. Just one game at a time.
That's it. That's all I ask. I don't necessarily have a prediction. I'm just gonna, like I said, hope that this. I'm not going to predict the Yankees win. As I've said in the past, I'm simply going to predict that the series gets extended another game. I think that that's put very diplomatically, if you ask me.
Super political answer. Yeah. Very politician of you. Great Cole start. Give me another Austin Wells home run. Give me a Judge home run.
Do we think Freddie pushes it to 7?
No, it's done. It ends at 6.
You think it's done? Okay, that's
great.
right. We're getting greedy.
Great.
We're getting greedy
impressive.
there.
He now holds the record. We don't need to extend that record. He doesn't need to go break his own record. Did you see that sign, by the way, tonight? It's like, please stop, Freddie.
Freddie, stop, please. Just begging for mercy.
So accurate.
Hey, he said the thing that nobody wanted to say. So kudos to that guy. You know, he was saying what everybody was in that stadium was thinking.
Stop. Oh man, you ever wonder what Freddie Freeman's arms look like? When's the last time we saw those?
Homie loves the long sleeves, man.
I know. I mean, right now it makes sense. It just the thought. Anywho's, that's my guess.
Like I said, my prediction: this series gets extended a game, and go ahead and pencil in Judge to the 3-hole. It doesn't hit as strong now because he had like a couple good ABs, whatever. The fact is, the guy still sucks in the postseason. I'm not backing off of that stance, but you know, if he gets like a little RBI and garbage time and gets on via walk, whatever, it kind of takes away from the bit. But reality of it is, the guy still sucks in the postseason. That's just what it is. And we're gonna be 50 years old hearing about how he is knocking on the door of breaking out in the postseason. He's gonna be an 0-33 hitter in the postseason. He's gonna be in the final year of his career, but he's gonna be right there. That's my prediction.
Hater.
That's my prediction.
Such a hater. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We will be back tomorrow night, no matter the result.
You have to make a
But we
promise.
back.
You have to make a stop. You have to. I don't know who this we nonsense is.
We
you
back.
have to make a promise right now. Win or lose, you're going to be in a good mood tomorrow because you didn't get swept. You had your game 4 release. You got the win. It's under the belt. You had some positives to look back on tonight, but you're going to be in a good mood if the Yankees lose tomorrow in game 5.
Hey, you know what? Shouldn't even be here.
Don't stop.
We back though.
Stop.
We back.
The big bad Yankees shouldn't be in the World
Shouldn't
Series.
even be here right
Get out of here.
Shouldn't even be
What
here.
a crock of crap.
now. Shouldn't even be here. You seen what's
crock
going
of
on in Kansas
crap.
City? You seen what's going on in Cleveland?
Oh, yeah, the
we shouldn't even
gauntlet.
be here.
The gauntlet of the American
Shouldn't
League
even
Central. What a
be here.
cakewalk. What a
Shouldn't even be here.
what
The
a
boys.
cakewalk.
The boys are here. Though.
I don't
They're
even
back.
think the Royals realized that there was games going on, and then the Guardians just decided that they were going to embrace every quality of the American League Central and just decide to, not be good. Get at whatever.
Shouldn't even be here. We back though.
Oh, the ultimate Cinderella story, the 2024 New York Yankees. Save your crap. Nobody wants to hear it. Whatever. All right.
Curveballs. Don't go chasing them.
We love you all, and as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. We'll see you tomorrow night on the live stream. Immediate reaction following Game 5. Until then, stay filthy.